Hey, what's going on everyone? Vengeance here, and since we're getting close to the release of The Division, I wanted to make a video containing almost everything there is to know about the game so far. I tried to find everything I could on each part of the game, so this video is a pretty long video. So, without any further delays, let's get started. The Division is an open world third-person RPG, and the game is set to release on March 8 of 2016. And a beta is set to release sometime before that. The game takes place in New York City during a time period where a virus has just swept the city. The virus, which was spread through the use of banknotes, infected the population on Black Friday. After 17 days, the virus was found, but by then it was too late to do anything to cure it. Mass panic spread throughout the city as New York collapsed. Power was cut, food and water supplies were taken from stores and supermarkets, and soon enough people started dying from the virus. We play as Division agents who have been activated in order to help prevent the city from falling into any further chaos. We are activated 22 days after the virus was spread on Black Friday, and we have to stop the virus from spreading and help rebuild New York to its former glory. In this game, classes work differently from the typical RPGs that you normally play. There is no set class, and you can literally switch from being a damage dealer to support almost instantly. Here's what game director Ryan Barnard had to say about how the classes in the game work. "We don't have hard archetypes in our game," Barnard explains. "If you play RPGs, you know a lot of time there will be a healer, DPS, and tank. We want that trinity, and that holy trinity is important for any RPG in general, but the way we are doing classes is completely different. As you play the game, you'll level up and acquire points that you can spend. You can then use those points to basically spec yourself into a role, but those choices are totally open and totally up to each player and totally changeable. So in the first 15 minutes of the game, we're not asking you to choose what you are and how you want to play the game. You'll discover how you want to play while playing the game. Now, in my opinion, this just makes everything much more interesting because everyone can be unique in terms of class customization. But this might cause some problems down the line because everyone might just spec the same way because a certain combination of perks and talents and abilities are just better than other combinations. We'll see once the game releases though, because we won't know how, things work out until we actually play the game. In this game, you can carry 3 types of weapons on you at the same time: a primary, a secondary, and a sidearm. In the primary and secondary slots, you can equip any assault rifle, SMG, machine gun, DMR, or shotgun that you choose. And in the sidearm section, you'll have a handgun that has an infinite amount of ammo. For armor, there are about 6 pieces of gear that you have to worry about, and there might even be more. I couldn't really find an exact source on exactly how much gear you'll have, but for now, there's a helmet, chest piece, leg armor, knee pads, a backpack, and a face mask. Each armor piece comes with a different attribute that helps recharge your skills faster, sort of like how intellect, discipline, and strength work in Destiny. I'll explain how the skills work later on in the video. There are 5 levels of rarity in the Division. From least rare to rarest, there is common, uncommon, rare, legendary, and exotic. In the game, it might be named differently, but the level of rarity should resemble this exact order. Lastly, there is vanity gear, and this is strictly cosmetic gear and does not add any type of attributes or stats to your character. But the most important thing with vanity gear is that it lets you differentiate yourself from other agents. You can have the same helmet that adds, let's say, 200 armor, but because you have different vanity gear, you'll look completely different from one another. Hopefully, there's a lot of vanity gear and not just like a handful of different ones for each part of the body. There are 3 types of abilities in the Division: skills, talents, and perks. And as you can see on the screen, there are 3 tabs. We'll go over them from left to right, and skills are basically abilities that you can bind to RB, LB, and then both of them, kind of like how the super works in Destiny. They run on a recharge and works very similar to how melee and grenade charges work in Destiny. The major difference here is that in the Division, you have a whole bunch of skills that you can bind to your left and right bumpers. Exactly how you unlock more skills? Well, you might just gain more skills by leveling up, completing missions, or it might be tied to the base of operations. Taken from Intelligence Annex number 8, here's what they had to say about talents and perks. Each talent allows you to take that extra step needed towards specializing your playstyle. Similar to skill modifications, talents are unlocked through your mission progress. They actively affect your prowess in situations to further adapt your agent based on your playstyle preference, and each talent provides a unique combat enhancement triggered through defined activities that assist you in overcoming a challenge. When you have unlocked every one of them, you can select and freely swap between them to explore a variety of options. We as agents will feel ourselves progressing further as we complete more missions and unlock more perks. Once unlocked, perks are active and do not need to be triggered in any way. From increasing the number of items you carry to an additional crafting material, each perk brings its own convenience that presents a sense of your agent's progression within the world of The Division. However, unlocking all these perks is directly tied to your mission progress as well. So looking at all these abilities that we have, it's looking like you might have to play this game a lot in order to completely unlock every single ability for your agent. The base of operations is a place where you find almost all your activities in the game, and in a recent trailer for the game, we get a glimpse of the inside of the base of operations. They show off the different parts of the base, and there is even a canine unit that they show a quick flash of. And in this cut of the video, we can see that there are 3 wings that are available for upgrade. There's the medical wing, technology wing, and the security wing. If you haven't already noticed, these 3 wings are directly paired up with the abilities that your agents can use, and we can see on the side of the abilities tab that there are percentage markers for each different tier of abilities. So maybe upgrading your base of operations might sort of affect the growth of your abilities, who knows, but they did say that mission progress is important to unlocking abilities. So far, there have only been 2 enemy factions that were revealed. Not sure if this is going to be the final amount of enemy factions, but these are the ones that are known as of right now. The most common enemies are thugs, and I don't think they are an enemy faction. Thugs are found while patrolling the city, and you can see them harassing civilians or looting out stores and other facilities. Now, for the first enemy faction, they are called Rikers. They are an enemy faction made up of vicious convicts who have escaped from Rikers Island jail, and I'm not completely sure how they'll fit into the story, but in the Dark Zone reveal gameplay, you can see them as the first enemies that the players encounter in the Dark Zone. Cleaners are the second enemy faction, and they are a mentally ill enemy faction who roam around the world with flamethrowers, burning and killing everyone and everything they perceive as sick. The Cleaners want to remove the virus from New York by doing anything you can possibly imagine. The Cleaners are extremely tight-knitted, and they are heavily protected and geared with flamethrowers and can fight against group fights extremely well. As you can see in the cinematic trailer on the screen, the group of agents look extremely tense when the Cleaners roll up, and the thugs didn't even look back, they just dipped. In addition to those 2 enemy factions, each faction has a higher level enemy called Elites. They have higher damage output and higher health, but they also come with better loot drops. The Dark Zone is a contaminated area of The Division where all the good loot have been left behind. The Dark Zone has a different level system from your actual character level, and your level in the Dark Zone depends completely on what you do in the Dark Zone, like killing rogue agents and taking out enemy factions. But you also lose Dark Zone XP when you die, so you will be demoted if you die too much. There are tons of good loot available in the Dark Zone, but in order to get that loot, you either have to search the Dark Zone or take out high-level enemy AIs in order to get such loot. Once you get this loot, there will be a contaminated marker on your back, letting other players know that you have Dark Zone loot. In order to actually keep the loot that you have found in the Dark Zone, you must call for helicopter extraction so that you can decontaminate the loot. Once you call for extraction, you will then have to wait 90 seconds for the helicopter to arrive. In those 90 seconds, other players, including rogue agents, might show up. You can choose to attack and kill them for their loot, but attacking another agent will label you as a rogue agent. Once you are a rogue agent, all other agents in the Dark Zone around you can kill you and take your loot if you don't get the loot on the extraction helicopter. You also have to remember that you will lose Dark Zone XP once you die too, so you gotta think twice before you go rogue. As a rogue agent, you will have a timer till you become a regular agent again, and the more players you kill, the longer that timer will extend, so ask yourself if it's worth the risk of becoming rogue. So, That's pretty much everything you need to know about The Division. I didn't exactly go in depth with the video, but if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below and I'll be sure to answer them. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to like the video and make sure to subscribe for gameplay of The Division in the future. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys on my next video.